What's up everybody, I'm Vick Almighty, and today we have a project. These are the Ferrari 14s from 2014 in terrible condition. The 2025 Retro just came out. Right before they did though, I was on eBay looking for a few pairs. I ended up going with this one because I got it for a great price. Once people struck out and realized that the new Retro was limited, everybody rushed over to eBay and copped the old pairs. Red suede sneakers always look awful when they're in terrible condition, but with the proper tools and techniques, they look beautiful once they're brought back to life. So let's get to work. To start, I'm gonna put the right shoe to the side and only focus on the left for before and after purposes. Next, I'm gonna take out the shoelace and insole to clean those up separately. Now the first step for any cleaning, no matter what it is prep work. I'm gonna be using the air compressor and a dry brush to remove as much of the dirt and grime as possible. Just by doing the prep work, you can already see some of the red coming back to life on the upper. It's still gonna require a lot more work to get it where I need to. We're gonna have to start with the deep clean process. I'm not gonna be putting the shoe in the washing machine. The shoe is from 2014, making it about 11 years old. In my opinion, it's on the older side. I have a good feeling if I put it in the washing machine, I might get some separation in the toe cap area. On the older 14s, especially the OGs from 98, the plastic hardware on the bottom tends to crack and break off. These shoes are not that old where I think that will happen, but you just never know. Same thing with this piece over here. They tend to crack over time. The chrome can flake off. It's just not worth putting in the washing machine. Plus, for this one, a regular deep clean without putting it in the washing machine is gonna get the job done. The biggest issue on the sneaker is the red suede. It's starting to come back to life, but the only way to get it back to its original state is by redying it. To get some great results, during the deep clean process, I gotta remove all the grime and dirt from that red suede. I also wanna oversaturate the suede, remove as much of the color as possible. Now, I'm gonna put the shoe tree inside the sneaker to start reshaping the toe box. To get it going, I'm gonna be using the soft bristle brush. For the uppers, like I mentioned, I need to get all that dirt off. I'm gonna go back and forth. Then, as I go, pat it down dry. Eventually, work my way to the inside to give it a good scrub as well. But first, we need 2 squirts of our solution inside our bowl of water. The cleaning on the inside is good to go. On the outside, I scrubbed as much as possible with the soft bristle brush. I still see some dark markings all around, but it's looking a lot better. While I was scrubbing, I did notice some pink suds. In this situation, that's what I want. I want to get the shoe faded. However, as I was scrubbing the shoe, it did require a lot of scrubbing to get it to that point. If you are working on the shoe and want to avoid fading it, as you're cleaning it up, don't oversaturate it, pat it down dry. At the end, you should have some good results without too much bleeding. Next brush is a medium bristle brush. I'm gonna give the midsole a good scrubbing. As I go, I'm also gonna be taking care of the upper one more time. I'm all done with the soft and medium bristle brush. To finish the job, I'm gonna be using the stiff bristle brush for the soles. Mainly the 2 spots I'm gonna focus on is the chrome and this yellow circle. Last piece, the insole. Going back to the medium bristle brush, I'm gonna give it a good scrub. For the lace, I'm gonna use a leftover water and solution to also clean it up. All right, job is complete. All I have to do is put everything outside to dry. Good to go with the cleaning. Shoe is fully dried, ready to go. Honestly, just by doing the cleaning, this shoe looks a million times better. The red is back to being red. It's just a little faded. Once I hit it with the redye, this shoe is gonna look almost brand new. Now, before I keep it moving on this restoration, I do wanna do a side-by-side comparison with the new 2025 Retro. I did get lucky and hit on them on sneakers. Most of the guys here at Rejuvenator did not. I was gonna keep these in my personal collection. It's a beautiful sneaker, but I think these will be better served as content, so stay tuned for that. Overall, when you see them side by side, they look identical. The shoe that I'm working on is a 10.5. The 2025 Retro is a size 9.5, so they are a little different in size, but we're gonna be comparing the details and the materials. Now, the first thing that's different about the sneakers is the red suede. Besides the color, they use a completely different material. So obviously on the 2014 Retro that's used, the suede is faded all around. We're not gonna be comparing the color. It's not fair to compare a new shoe to a used shoe. We are comparing though the materials. On the new sneaker, they used a much shorter suede. It almost feels like felt. Very different, still buttery soft, however, very short suede. On the older one, the suede isn't completely shaggy, but it's not short like the new one. It also has a soft texture, just 2 different materials. For the tongues, I don't think either one has suede. It's more of a felt material. For the most part, they feel identical. The yellow accents on both sneakers, such as the tongue, the back, the logos on the sides, and on the bottom are slightly different. When you see them side by side, they look very close, but on the 2014 Retro, the yellow is a little darker. On the new one, it's a lot more pale looking and a little bit more vibrant. Another thing that's different, and in my opinion, it's a downgrade. On the 2025 Retro, the chrome on the bottom and a little bit of the side is not shiny at all. It's more of a silver color. On the original, you can see a shine to it. That's more chrome looking. Again, this one's a little beat up, but you can still see that shiny chrome on the side and even on the bottom. Some more details to compare. The plastic hardware on the bottom, the yellow right here is a little bit more vibrant compared to the original. These could be oxidized. I would have to compare it to a 2014 Retro that's brand new to know for sure. The carbon fiber paint job on the midsole, on the new one, it's a bit more visible. On the old one, it's a little bit more blurry. That could be simply because the shoe is used. Maybe the paint job has faded over time, but I would say the carbon fiber on the new one is a bit more crispier. Now overall, Jordan killed it with the 2025 Retro. It's a beautiful sneaker all around. It's almost identical to the original release, but if you were gonna ask me which one's better, I'm probably gonna have to go with the 2014 Retro, simply because I like the red suede on this one a lot more. I'm not a big fan of the short suede material on the newer Retro. I also don't like the chrome on the new one. It just looks kind of cheap. But again, I'm not complaining. The 2025s is a great sneaker. However, if you didn't get this shoe, the 2014s on eBay is sitting for a great price, and it's basically the same shoe. Getting back to the restoration, we gotta reset the nap on the suede using the medium bristle brush. I'm using an old brush that has red dye, just so I don't ruin another brush. Back to buttery soft, extra faded, it's looking perfect. Now before I can go in and apply some new dye, there's one thing I gotta take care of. I noticed it as I was resetting the nap on the suede. Part of the midsole right here is starting to separate. Nothing too crazy, but it's there. We gotta fix it. Before I can apply some new glue, I gotta prep it. The best way to go about it for this little area is using a blade. You wanna shave off as much of the old glue as you can while scraping at it to get the material nice and fuzzy so it can adhere onto the midsole when you apply the new glue and bond it. You do not wanna use acetone for this step. If you get a Q-tip with acetone and try to go in there to prep it, all you're gonna do is get it all over the suede and ruin it. So your best bet is just using a blade. Prep is done. Now I'm gonna press down on the midsole, tape perfectly all around there. Grab a small detail brush, put some bar super stick on the suede, on the midsole, keep them separate for a good 20 minutes, let it cure, then we'll bond it together. Glue's fully cured. Now I'm heating it up for a couple of seconds. You don't want to apply too much heat or get too close. If I do so, when it's time to bond it, I can leave a fingerprint on the midsole, or the midsole could get warped with too much heat. Back to the suede. I'm going to re-dye it using the airbrush. I like using the airbrush for this step because I get a nice, clean, consistent dye job all around. But first, I got to tape off everything but the red suede. Tape job looks good. When it comes to these restorations, I spend the majority of my time doing prep work. This tape job took about 45 minutes. Doing the actual restoration, which means dyeing the sneaker, is only gonna take about 5 minutes, which means take your time during these restorations, especially during the prep work. That's what's gonna make a world of a difference at the end. Now for this process, I will be using Jacquard Brilliant Red Dynaflow. This stuff works great for suede. I'm gonna be using the airbrush. I'm gonna apply thin coats all around. As I'm applying the dye, I will be brushing it in using this medium bristle brush. I wanna make sure the dye gets all over the suede, not just the surface. All right, now that's how the red suede is supposed to look like. This is just part one of the re-dye process. In order to lock it in, before I can remove the tape, I gotta spray some rejuvenated water and stain repellent. This is gonna act as a thin barrier on the suede, protecting it from bleeding or any liquids being spilled on the shoe. Let's go outside and spray a thick, even coat. This restoration is coming to an end. This sneaker is looking really good. Now it never fails, almost on every used sneaker I see, on the sock liner, it's filled with sock lint. Easy fix, it's ugly to look at. The way to fix it is using a lint shaver. All right guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on this restoration on these 2014 Ferrari 14s. Honestly, these look great. In this video, I went over a few different things. I compared the 2014s to the brand new 2025s. overall, it's the same shoe. However, the new ones are limited and go for some money. In my opinion, you're better off going on eBay, buying a used pair for super cheap and doing the work yourself to get them back to this point. Trust me, for this restoration, it didn't take too much. Really, a good deep clean and re-dye is what's gonna make a world of a difference. When it comes to this specific shoe though, there's not much else you can do. I wish I could have done more with the restoration. For example, on this specific shoe, there is some chipping on the chrome. That's one of those details that I really can't do anything about. It just is what it is. Once it gets scratched or chipped, you gotta deal with it. On the midsole, there is a cool carbon fiber print all around it. The thing is, in certain areas it's fading. I would love to go in and paint it, but it's super detailed. I can't do it free-handed. I can't airbrush it on with the stencil. It just wouldn't look the same. So you're better off just leaving it as is. As far as the rest of the shoe goes, the only things you can do is give it a good deep clean, re-dye the red, fix any separation that might be going on in the shoe. Other than that, that's really all you can do with this shoe. But as you can see, just by doing these two things, a re-dye and a cleaning, it can make the shoe look near dead stock. This was a fun restoration. It's so satisfying to see the before and after on this one. As always, you guys, I'm looking for more restorations to do on the channel. I've done so many over the years. Some sneakers I've kind of forgotten about. Drop a comment down below on what sneaker you want to see me do next. I'll go on eBay and find it. You can find our Rejuvenator Signature Kit, our whiter and stain repellent, and much more at rejuvenator.com. Use promo code Ferrari20 to save 20% on your next order. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Vick Almighty. I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.